Hi, my name's Jennifer, and I am here to bring you a little overview of the basics of copyright. This video is License CC-BY. So on today's agenda, we're going to cover what is intellectual property, protecting intellectual property, stuff you can copyright, and the limitations of copyright. But first, before we talk about copyright, you'll probably want to understand what intellectual property is and IP law. So intellectual property is materials that include intangible creations of the human intellect. And IP law strives to balance the rights of creators so they are strong enough to encourage the creation of intellectual goods and then not so strong that they prevent the goods' wide use. There are different ways and different laws that help to protect intellectual property. So there are 5 listed on this page with some definitions. Trademark law protects the public from being confused about goods and services with a trademark symbol that companies sometimes place on their products. There's also patent law, and that protects inventions. So creators who create something can patent their material and protect it from being unlawfully copied. There's also design patents. Those protect the designs of objects, like the curved shape of a Coca-Cola bottle. There are also geographical indications, and that's when you can put a sign on your product to show the public that your product has a specific geographical origin. So for example, true champagne only comes from Champagne, France, and the rest of that white wine with bubbles is just white wine with bubbles. And then there are trade secrets and confidential information. And so this helps to protect commercially valuable information, like a secret recipe, a manufacturing process, or a list of customers. Lastly, another way to protect intellectual property is through copyright. So copyright laws protect the rights of creators. Copyright prevents the unlawful distribution of your creative work. So original works can take a bunch of different forms like books, plays, poems, websites, and other items. What does this even mean? So originally, copyright referred to the act of copying an original work which may only be done lawfully by the author or with the author's permission. What is copyrightable? So, copyright grants rights to literary and artistic works that are original. These works must meet a certain standard of originality to warrant copyright. Items you can copyright are examples here are paintings, photos, drawings. So we have visual texts. There's also written texts like poems, stories, books, blog posts, translations, performative texts such as songs, movies, and plays. And then you can also copyright technology like databases and computer software. This is not a complete list. These are just examples. So when does copyright begin? Copyright begins as soon as a creative work exists. So the minute you create something, bring it into existence, it has a copyright. So no actions or formalities are required of the author or the creator for copyright to apply. So you don't have to file anything. You automatically have copyright of your material when you create it. Copyright protection prevents only unauthorized use of the expressions of ideas. And for copyright to apply, the ideas in a work don't have to be original, but the form, the way that those ideas are expressed should be an original creation. Authors have rights to their creations only they can exercise. So rights related to copyright include economic rights. These allow owners to earn money from the use of their works by others. And then there's also moral rights. So authors and creators can prevent others from distorting reproductions of their works. When does copyright end? In most countries, copyright expires 50 years after a creator's death. In the US, it's 70 years. If a copyright holder doesn't comply with formalities to acquire or maintain their copyright, so this is another time in which copyright might have ended in the past. Previously, there were different laws that required people to file things to keep the copyright of their work. So some items that didn't comply with those laws might have gone into the public domain before 70 years after that creator's death. Ideas and facts, again, are not copyrightable. Another time in which copyright can end is when a creator dedicates their work to the public domain. So, what's the public domain? Where do copyrighted works go after a creator dies and it's been 70 years? They go into the public domain. So, these are works that are not subject to copyright, either because they were never subject to copyright, like an idea or a fact, their copyright expired, or their creator dedicated them to the public domain. And that's all for now. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching this video on an overview of copyright.